Oh, hey there, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. I have just touched down in the airport on my way to Gold Coast for kind of a working bee type of thing. And as these things would happen, when I arrived at Sydney Airport, it was jam-packed, and I wasn't actually quite sure if I was actually going to make my plane. And again, one of those things that just runs through my head, which I thought I would capture and share with you. Do you ever assume that things would just go on a linear manner, like on a conveyor belt? It's the kind of thinking that I've encountered in my clinical work as well as my work in burnout. And that is, we kind of hope that if we do the hard work of planning and preparing and being equipped, that one step will lead to another, and we'll eventually get a particular outcome that we want. Most of the time, though, I find that sort of linear thinking actually sets up some expectations, some very narrow and rigid expectations that we have of ourselves and the way life and the world in general works. In particular, when you're engaging in high-meaning work, this rarely happens. You rarely get the ducks all lined up in a row, and you just have to go one quack three, and the outcome happens. In fact, I've come to accept that detours and being derailed is the more common path, and therefore it actually really helps to have some micro goals and micro steps and little detours that eventually get you to where you need to get to. Now, I was delayed for an hour, wasn't sure if I was actually even going to make it, but I just said to myself, you know what, this is just classic detours and being derailed, and what really helps for me is actually being able to see my work from a 90 days to a month to a 4 weeks to a week to a day, and then within the day actually coding my diary into the different spots, and I call it a values-driven diary. And because I had to do some swaps, unfortunately I missed my weekly consultation with one of the psychologists in my practice, which I really look forward to. I had to swap that out instead to replace it with another high-meaning work. And what I actually swapped it out with, incredibly exciting, though there were lots of grumpy people around me, I actually felt very energized as I just swapped my values-driven diary slot around and actually created my 2019 revitalization programs and curriculum for next year. So stay tuned. If you want to actually know what a values-driven diary looks like, I'll be bringing it to 2019. So I just wanted to leave you there to say, lemons and lemonade, that's the other phrase I always say to myself, is if we kind of have a bullseye target, only one way, one direction and one way of getting to where we want to get, I think we will constantly find that we are disappointed and frustrated, and the stress actually just goes up. But if we actually see that what we do, there's a variety of ways that we can get there. There are options. Sometimes you have to be a bit delayed. Sometimes you take the scenic route. Sometimes it actually leads to a detour, but always keeping the sense that you will get there eventually. You just have to swap out some of the blocks and make them. I don't know if you can hear me. It's getting very, very noisy here. The airport is suddenly filling up. Okay, have a great day.